Let's watch Ryansh from Mumbai score another amazing Band 9 for his performance on the speaking section. He answers questions in Part 1 about routines, in Part 2 about making a person happy, and in Part 3 about positive experiences. After the interview, I will explain what he does so well in each of these parts to get that high band score. Make sure to use the subtitles to practice so you too can become confident and fluent the next time you sit your IELTS exam. Now, let's begin. Welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. This is candidate number 958176662, and this is examiner number 17582. We are currently conducting this exam in Mumbai. The time right now is 14 o'clock, and I am recording this for marking and clerical purposes. May I see your passport, please?
Yes, certainly. Here is my passport. Please take a look.
What is your full name?
My first name is Ryansh and my family name is Verma. Please refer to me by my first name, Ryansh.
Okay, Ryansh. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Do you work or go to school?
I was doing some vocational study recently here in Mumbai, but right now I'm working as a salesperson in a clothing store.
What do you like about your workplace or school?
I really like my job because I get to meet a lot of interesting people and I help them find the right products. Like the other day I met an actress and it was quite exciting.
Let's talk about daily routines. What is the first thing you do after you wake up?
As soon as I wake up, my first act is to brush my teeth. I really don't like the taste of my morning breath, so I head straight for the bathroom. After that, I get dressed and have my breakfast.
Where do you usually go for lunch?
Usually, I have my lunch with my colleagues at work. We do have a staff room at the back of our store where I sit at a small table and enjoy my noontime meal.
Who are people that you meet with each week?
As I mentioned earlier, I meet with lots of customers during the day. Apart from that, we have a weekly meeting with our boss and co-workers. And I meet my family and friends to hang out with them. Yesterday, I went for tea with 2 of my close friends.
Why is it important to have some routines in life?
I think it's really important to have some daily routines like brushing my teeth and going to gym because it's important for health and development of a person. I go to work so I can save some money for my school and my living, and I think it helps me to grow as an individual.
How have your daily routines changed over the past 5 years?
My daily routines have evolved significantly over last half a decade. I used to go to school, but right now I'm working. In the evening, I used to watch TV, but these days I prefer going out with my friends and family to hang out. So I think it has changed a lot.
If you could change one part of your daily routine, what would it be?
I think if I could do something differently, then definitely it will be the time I go to bed. Because I think I usually get to bed late at times, so I'm a bit tired the next day.
That is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For part 2, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these questions. Think about your answers. You have some note paper and your pencil there, so you can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Please do not touch the paper with the questions. Talk about an idea that you had to make someone happy. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Ryansh, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Last year, I had a brilliant idea to make my friend Sejal happy because she was really down after losing her job. She called me on a Saturday night to tell me that she had been let go from her company because they were downsizing due to financial crisis. So basically she was sobbing on phone, so I really wanted to cheer her up. So after my conversation with her, I really wanted to do something special to put a smile on her face. So I decided to call up all my friends for a surprise night out. I discovered that there's a place called Mystery Rooms Mumbai where we can all play together to escape from a room. It's basically a place where we all play together to solve out a mystery to get out of a room with all kinds of excitement and danger. So we chose the con theme that's kind of like a Mission Impossible story where we had to get away with a big diamond. So all that was needed to make this happen was to call up all my friends, and that was about 1,000 rupees per head for admission. And we got one of our friends' car to get there. So anyhow, my three friends, including Sejal and I, went there and really had a blast on a Friday night. We were like screaming there and laughing for like 3 or 4 hours. And the best thing is we were able to escape out of the room just in time, and it was really great. So after everything, Sejal was really happy. Like, I think she was really cheered up. She left on a positive vibe for the entire following week. That helped her in getting a new job that was better than her previous job. So I think letting loose a bit and remembering that life is meant to be fun helped her in her success.
Your time is up. I'm going to stop you there, Ranj. Please turn the note paper over and put it to the side along with the pencil. I'm going to take back the questions, and now we'll start with part 3. For this part, I will ask you a question related to your response and some questions on this topic. Would you recommend this activity to others as well?
Yes, I will definitely recommend this to people like 16 years or older. I have already recommended this to dozens of people, and I think they really have a tons of fun.
Let's talk about creating positive experiences. What are some different ways that people can make others happy?
I think there are lots of ways to put someone in a better mood. Like, you can go for a night out, like we did with our friend Sejal, or you can have a conversation over a warm cup of tea. I think the most important thing is to be a good listener and to be empathetic.
What is a simple way to make a person feel good?
I think the simplest way to make a person feel good is to give them a warm and sincere hug. It always works for me.
How has society improved over the past few hundred years to enable citizens to feel better?
I think there has been much in the way of improving the society, like in terms of medicine and technology, like cars and computers. Like, we have evolved a lot. Like, I think people these days, on the most part, do have more positive experience than negative ones. I remember, like, when I sit with my grandmother, she had to face a lot more hardships than my parents or me.
What further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
I think there are still so many things we can do better. Like, people are expecting clean water and clean air for their safety. There are some places where people cannot go in the night because they feel it's dangerous for them.
Let's talk about sharing memories. Why is it important to share our memories with other people?
I think people really feel the need to share pictures and videos because they think it helps them to relive the experience. I show my pictures and videos to my friends because I feel like I'm doing the same thing with them again. Like, I show the pictures of escape room because it was a lot of fun.
Is it always good to share our past with others?
No, I don't think so. Because we have to consider the other person's position too. Because some pictures might bring up some bad memories for him or her. And some people may feel sad or jealous because they may not have enough money to do expensive stuff like going to Hawaii, for instance.
What are some ways that people can share their positive experiences with other individuals?
I think the methods that are really popular these days are like communication apps like WhatsApp or Instagram. I think these are really easy and quick to use. All a person needs is a mobile phone and an internet connection. I usually share my pictures and videos through these apps with my friends and family.
That is the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking portion of the exam. You will have your mark available online in a couple days, and you will have the official certificate in the mail in about 10 days. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Just before I explain what Ryansh did so well in each of these 3 parts to get that perfect Band 9 score, let me remind you that you can also practice these questions and answers with subtitles in a karaoke-style format in our next video. Simply click the card to begin learning for fluency, confidence on your next IELTS exam. Now, why does Ryansh deserve these Band 9 scores? Ryansh begins part 1 with the right attitude for that perfect Band 9 score. He has his hands up on the table and making good eye contact with the examiner. He projects his voice, speaks loudly and clearly. Right away in the introductory questions, he uses good vocabulary, stating that he had been doing some vocational study before working. When asked why routines are important, he gives a very natural and clear answer, stating that it helps him grow as an individual. Again, this indicates a high degree of familiarity with the English language. Later in part 1, when the examiner asks him if his routines have changed over the years, Ryansh recognizes the present perfect grammar in the question, and he not only uses the present perfect once, but instead he uses it twice in his answer. In the beginning, he says it has changed a lot, and then again he says it has changed quite a bit. This is a very good strategy to show the examiner that the candidate has grammatical range and accuracy. Pay attention to the grammar of the questions. If they are past perfect, use past perfect. If it's a conditional, use the conditional in your answer. And if it's present perfect, use the present perfect. And use it twice. Practice this at home before you sit the IELTS exam. Let's take a look at Ryansh's part 2. For the long answer, the cue card questions, asking about what the candidate has done to make a person happy, Ryansh takes all the necessary steps for that perfect Band 9 score. He takes notes, answers each of the questions on the card, has great structure, vocabulary, grammatical range, and a lot of detail in his 1 to 2 minutes response. It is noteworthy to state that Ryansh uses wonderful, natural-sounding expressions and vocabulary to paint a clear picture about how he helped to cheer up his friend Seagull by taking her to the mystery rooms in Mumbai. Instead of saying that she was fired from her job, he uses the more subtle expression of she was let go from her job. He explains that this happened because the company was downsizing. Again, a nice piece of vocabulary to indicate that the company was becoming smaller. Throughout his response, he uses some idiomatic language, like he helped put a smile on her face, meaning again that he helped to cheer up his friend to make her happy. He's circling back to the topic of the cue card, making sure that he stays on topic. Notice the great level of detail that Ryansh puts into his response, making it sound original. He explains to the examiner that the mystery room was kind of like a con theme or Mission Impossible style adventure where they had to steal a diamond and escape with it. He clearly explains how much it cost them to participate in this activity and how they felt afterwards. In order to get a band 9 in the speaking section, you really do need to sound original in part 2 and include a lot of detail. Avoid using templates like, "Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak," or saying, "I have made a lot of people happy, but the person I would like to talk about today is." These might get you an OK score, but they will not get you that band 8 or that band 9. Instead, focus on the topic and focus on details. Now, let's talk about part 3. In part 3, Ryansh stays on track for a band 9 by providing clear and accurate answers to every single question. One strategy that he uses to attain this is applying the question in his answers. When the examiner asks him if he has recommended this activity to any of his friends, he reflects this sentence in his response. He says, "Yes, I have recommended going to this mystery room in Mumbai to at least a dozen other people." This strategy is very useful to both build fluency and accuracy in part 3. Ryansh cleverly includes examples to support his answers and explanations. These examples are smooth and he does not say "for example" or "for instance." Like when he gives the example of his grandmother, who has had to face many more hardships than people today. This makes his explanation very clear about how life has become easier and more positive for people nowadays than in the past. You too need to use these kinds of examples to get those high band scores. Last but not least, Ryansh pays attention to connect information among the different parts of the interview and his answers. When asked about sharing his memories with others, he tells the examiner that he has in fact shared pictures of his experience in Mystery Rooms Mumbai. This type of connectivity among ideas definitely helps the candidate to achieve that perfect band 9. Make sure to practice this at home before you sit your next IELTS exam. Subscribe to our channel. Click over here. Watch another video? Click right up here. And join our premium package. Click on our hero to practice your speaking, get videos, exams, and an interactive course.